to do nasty things to this city. So I mean, which were totally unethical. Okay, her stuff was absolutely unethical. That's why I talked about the ethical committee prior to this when I read this. I mean, you know, what a ball of wax she is, in the mayor, who's a clown, and what's her name, the obstructionist who was involved with them, the Mitchell. Okay, what a crew that is. Vendetto said he's met with the majority of the city council, including Council President Michael Passero and John Maynard, who is the head of the council's Public Safety Committee, about the issue. He said he hopes to organize a meeting with all involved to hash out the correct course for the committee to take. Well, there's only one correct course. You know that? There's only one. Do what the law tells you to do. Okay, now, you know, you people, I know what you people are doing. You love to keep lawyers in the money. And so you're going to do something stupid so that you got to go to court, and everybody's going to make money. Every lawyer's going to make money.
Every lawyer.
And guess who's going to pay? You know who's going to pay? The taxpayer. Oh, here we go. Somebody's calling in, giving me a hard time. Good evening. You're on Street Talk with Father Russ. How you doing?
Good evening.
Oh, yes. Good evening. They got you out loud. What can I?
You can hear me okay?
Oh, I can hear you all right. You're blasting me out.
Okay.
Okay.
You mentioned the ethics board.
Yeah.
And the police commission, the board that they have, those are two separate boards.
I know they're two separate boards. That's what I said. I guess you must have misunderstood what I was saying.
No. Don't follow me.
Oh, okay.
I know. I'm with you.
Okay.
Just bear with me for a minute.
Sure, okay.
I heard you, and I know where you're going.
Do you? Good.
The ethics board had a complaint from the police, well, some members from the police department against certain officials from the New London Police and the administration.
Right.
And the ethics board ruled actually against those members, but they did so. I believe that the ruling was incorrect. The ethics board made a mistake in their ruling. And I can say that because I was on the ethics board at the time. I'm no longer on the ethics board.
Okay.
So the problem is, the thing that really needs to be pointed out here is that the powers that be, they make the rules up as they go along.
Yeah, exactly right.
And the cards are stacked against people who have legitimate concerns, who want to do it right and who want to address these issues.
Right.
And I'm not going to attack any members. I'm not going to make any statements or go against members of the ethics board, because as a former member, I think that would be incorrect to do so. But I will go so far, and I will tell you that members of the ethics board, for the most part, they really have the best interest of the city and the community in their mind, and they're very dedicated. But I think that they also sometimes they fall a little short on the bias. Being biased against some of the issues, and they sometimes tend to let personal feelings go ahead of what objectivity should be. And in this case here,
my concern is procedure. Okay, you follow the law. You follow the procedural operation that however you feel about something is irrelevant to the procedural manner in which you go through your, whether it's ethics committee or the community relations committee. Okay, the Freedom of Information Act is clear, and there's legal standing on how you operate in executive session, as you must know, or not. Okay, and transparency is my belief is transparency. You know, you want to find out my record, you can find out my record. It's public record. Okay, you want to spend the money, God bless you, okay, or whoever, I don't care. You can find that out, okay, and that's what transparency says. You put it out there. Now, there are some things that we know of for certain reasons are exempt from public and are held in executive session, and you know, and there's a criteria for that. Right.
You're absolutely correct.
Well,
Now, I don't know how it is for the commission. I do know that in city council and personnel matters that some of it is eligible to go under executive session, and that's to protect the individuals that have been accused of a crime, or not, maybe not a crime.
Well, I agree on those kind of things, that nobody should be besmirched or put on public display without a proper redress. And that's what we're talking about here.
And that's why you go in executive session, so that you can take the complainant's information,
right,
and see if you can verify the evidence that's presented to you with fact before you go in public and embarrass somebody who may have been unjustly accused of a bad action.
That's right.
And I think that's what the police union was trying to go for.
And which I agree with.
Right. If an officer has been accused of something by a vindictive citizen,
right,
hypothetically,
right,
and that person makes an accusation that's not true, you could do undamage to the officer's reputation, undue damage to that officer's reputation. And that's what these boards are trying to avoid.
Yeah, well, what I did when I was in Arizona, you know, is really funny because, you know, many of the officers knew my background, and I had been a criminal and stuff like that, but also knew I was civil rights person. And basically, what I taught them was that they had rights too. That they forget. Okay, yeah, your criminal goes. Everybody yells, "Oh, the criminal's got." Well, those rights a criminal has. Guess what? You got those rights too, and you got the right. Yep. You should be protected from being besmirched in public or anything else. And people should have to have a way of redressing, though. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's why they have ethics boards and police commission boards. And I think with the policy here in New London, what the problem that I see is that, and one of the things I've now, just to digress a little bit, one of the things I'm now in favor of, which I wasn't before, is I think that a regional ethics board would better suit the towns and municipalities in the New London area, including New London. Because I really don't see the ethics board here in New London. It's just too close. Everybody knows everybody. Yeah. Everybody has agendas that you know, they don't want them to be part of it. But the unfortunate fact is, politics does enter into it, yeah, and I think you're better served by that.
I happen to agree. I happen to agree with that. I do agree with that because my fear is always nepotism. Okay, and over the years I've been here, I've looked at the formation of committees and boards and stuff like that, and found a mess of that, cousins, relatives, blah, all involved, and that is unfair. Okay, that is really puts people in an unfair advantage. And you're right. This community is a tight community, and you know, and has been, and it is changing, though. I mean, clearly we know that there's change. But I agree with you. I believe in a regional system of ethics, at least.
Yes.
Yeah.
If anybody's going to get a fair shot before the system, that is the way to go. And because I have listened to without speaking about any public case at all, because there was a few that came before the ethics board. And I'm not going to divulge any information about that.
I don't want you to. I'm not going to. I thank you. I got a call. I want to get him in before I'm off, okay? Bless you. Thank you for calling.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good evening. You're on Street Talk with Father Russ.
Yes? Hi. I have a comment about what you were just discussing as far as closed sessions when somebody is unjust, the police, when there's something that is, oh gosh, I can't even speak, I'm sorry.
When they're challenged.
Regarding the police officers, and when
a complaint is put against them.
Yeah, a complaint is against them.
Yeah.
I had been arrested because of a relative. I was innocent. My name was splattered all over the newspapers. It cost me $10,000. I finally got it cleaned. It was expunged. But the point is, everything was all over the newspapers, and people knew who I was.
Right.
And it was never put back into the newspapers that I was unjustly arrested and that, you know, everything had been expunged. So why do they have to have closed sessions, but yet a common person have their name splattered all over the newspapers and nobody ever knows what the end result is?
Well, see, I'm not sure about that, and you know, it's too bad. I've only got about 2 minutes here, okay, because I would love to have a discussion about that, and you know what? I'm going to do that on the Struggle for Justice show, but I believe if it's a criminal situation, and if you got a real problem with a police officer, you file a suit against them. That becomes seriously public. And then you don't have to worry about the type of committees we were just talking about. That's a different thing. We're talking personnel problem is one thing, and a complaint that is alleged to be criminal is something else. And I believe there's two ways to deal with it. And you know, I'm not going to have enough time to get into it with you. But this is the type of show that I would have loved to have and talk about. I wish I have time, but I've only got 2 minutes. I'm sorry. Oh, did she leave me?
Yeah,
She's left. Okay.
No, I'm here. Thank you very much.
I thank you. And I'm on the Struggle for Justice show. Tune into that, because I'm going to, within the next month or so, I'm going to have a show about that and talk about that, because you're absolutely right. I know what you're talking about. I've been arrested for both real things that I've done and then things that I didn't do, but either way, it was all over the papers. So, you know, I know what you're coming from. God bless you. Great. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
But thank you for calling in. And I got just about a minute. I want to say thank you to my audience. You folks you're always great, and I always love the calls that come in, especially when they're the type of calls. We could be here an hour. That was a good issue, and I got to go. I'll see you in April. I'll be back in April. Don't know what slot. Watch for the live show in April. And tune in tomorrow night. I start tomorrow night on Struggle for Justice.
6 to 7.
6 to 7. I fill in for Bobby DeLello a few of his shows. Channel 24.
Channel 24.
Thank you, Mary. God bless you, Mary.
Jesus.
Channel 24. I love you, folks. God bless you, and stay safe out there.